The Trump administration has just removed a federal ban on contractors from having segregated restaurants, waiting rooms, and drinking fountains. This is a result of Trump's...
So did you guys see that federal agencies are now bringing back segregation, and that they quietly have undone the law that prohibits certain constitutions and institutions that have goods or services to segregate? While y'all are on here bring back segregation, they already did when they wiped out DEI, but people are sounding the alarm on it because they are instituting it and telling companies to start to do it now. Segregated facilities are no longer explicitly banned in federal contracts, meaning they can do shit like waiting rooms for colored onlys and white only gyms. Oh, you don't believe me? Let's read. The segregation clause is one of the several identified in a public memo issued by the General Services Administration just last month, affecting all civil federal agencies. Now, this memo explains it is making changes prompted by President Trump's executive order on diversity, equity, and inclusion, which replaced an executive order signed by President Lyndon B. Johnson in 1965 regarding federal contractors and non-discrimination. Now, a recent notice from the National Institute of Health shows that the change is already in effect. Several federal agencies, including the Department of Defense, Commerce, and Homeland Security, have notified staff who oversee federal contracts that they should start instituting these changes. The changes to the FAR 52-222-21, which is prohibition of segregated facilities, and 26, equal opportunities will not be considered when making award decisions or enforce requirements. Now, the prohibition of segregated facilities, the reason why we don't have to go into establishment and see for colored water fountains fucking only, is because of the Prohibition of Segregated Facilities Act. Contractor has to agree that it does not and will not maintain or provide for its employees any segregated facility at any of its establishments, which explicitly bans the use of segregation in public spaces. And guess what? Trump undid that, and the person who is whistleblowing on this and telling the federal agencies now have to do it doesn't even want to show his face. So while you guys are on here saying dumb shit like we're resting and digesting as black people, they're slyly undoing everything that we worked years for. So yep, I'm gonna go now. Bye.
For you to come front and center, and please share this video, especially if you're a federal contractor. Clause 52.222-21 of the FAR being the Federal Acquisition Regulation, is titled Prohibition of Segregated Facilities. And what this states is that the contract agrees that it does not and will not maintain or provide for its employees any segregated facilities at any of its establishments, and it does not and will not permit its employees to perform their services at any location under its control where segregated facilities are maintained. And segregated facilities mean like at work areas, restaurants, bathrooms, drinking fountains, transportation, housing. And you cannot segregate it based on race, color, religion, sexual orientation, gender identity, national origin as well. Now, this clause is removed from the FAR. This is a new change due to the Trump regime. So what this heinous government is saying is that this provision, this clause in the FAR, will no longer be considered when making award choices or enforce requirements. Now, I think this is very symbolic in nature from Trump's administration, who happens to be an inherently racist administration. And people that are black and brown, I feel like I have to constantly say this, he does not like you. Now, to be clear, these contractors still have to follow federal and state laws, which include Civil Rights Act of 1964. But we already know Trump is actively trying to dismantle that law. When Kamala Harris offered her vision that we're not going back, this is exactly what she was afraid of, that he will bring us back to the 1950s, in which the white people had the power and we were powerless. But they don't know us, right? Because we shall overcome. And once we get over this hump, the MAGAs are not going to like the consequences. I promise you that. You guys have a blessed day.
Y'all see it now. I get it. I love that more and more people are talking about this. More and more people are seeing the same routine happen with this administration. It never fails. Every time their backs are against the wall, every time they're in a position where they are clearly losing favor, specifically with their voting base, they start trying to bait black people. Be honest with me, Republican voters. Be honest, MAGA. Is this a part of your vision? For all of you who kept saying over and over, we don't see color, we are not the ones who are perpetuating all of the racism. It's the people on the left. This idea that they want to bring back Jim Crow laws or segregate anything is all hyperbole. You guys are overreacting. How does this make you feel? I want to know. How do you feel? They are saying that federal contractors will no longer be penalized if they have segregated facilities. Are you going to express concern? Are you going to ask any type of follow-up questions, or are you going to move the goalpost on this one as well? Are you going to say, no, segregated facilities are something we've always wanted? What about the Blacks for Trump? What about y'all? All of y'all saying Trump has never been racist towards black people whatsoever. How are y'all going to feel about this? Oh, wait, let me guess. Y'all thought them colored bathrooms was better, right? Y'all thought it was more masculine or better for our community to have our own bathrooms. Because I'm sure that's something that y'all are going to try to say when this question comes to your front door as well. Like I've said, this is an obsession. They really would like to see our participation in everything that's going on. But we not going for it.
I just want to go on record saying that segregation is probably not the flex that y'all think it's going to be. And it's probably not going to impact black people as much as y'all think it will. And if y'all going to do it, just make sure that y'all don't repeat history. Because when black successful communities have been built, you all have turned around and destroyed them. Burned them to the ground. Tulsa, Oklahoma, Greenwood, okay, Black Wall Street. As soon as y'all see black people thriving, y'all have a tendency to start a massacre, Rosewood, Florida. And as soon as y'all see black folks finding ways to protect their legacy and protect our generational wealth, you all call it a threat, East St. Louis, Missouri. And don't even get me started on how y'all would respond if black culture and black intellectual property was stripped from your reality. Y'all get mad enough when black people try to gatekeep certain parts of black culture. But you want segregation? Okay, let's see how it goes.
Donald Trump just brought back segregation. Yes, I'm saying that. He just brought back segregation. Segregation on bathrooms, on restaurants, on who to hire. That is part of removing DEI, okay? Let's do it. Bring back segregation. I want to know where the fuck I'm not welcome. I want to know where my money does not deserve to be put at. Because let's make this very fucking clear. Black people in America are the buying power. Y'all forget, we buy more than anybody else. I don't know why we do that shit, but we do. So let us know where the fuck we aren't welcome. Bring back segregation. I guarantee y'all gonna fuck up all y'all money. Because white folks don't shop like that. And when they do, they don't spend in middle class areas. It's the rich shit like Gucci and Prada. Not everyday hometowns. Go ahead and fuck yourselves up. Bring segregation back. Yup. Bring it on back. Let's see how this shit rides. You see what's going on with Target.
Everybody in the club, tear down. You make that booty go around and round. I love it when you shake it like that. I like it when you move your booty from the back. Everybody in the club, tear down. You make that booty go around and round. I love it when you
segregation was the best thing to happen for the black community. We had our own towns, our own hospitals, our own doctors. We started the paramedic services, you know it today. Black people have created so much shit. Segregation was absolutely amazing for the black community, especially the black community coming together. You know what happened, and you know the downfall of the black community was integration, because with integration, black people wasn't necessarily even living in white neighborhoods. It was a lot of black people and white people sometimes coming together, right? And then there was a lot of white people infiltrating black spaces. And there's a lot of now black people are overseen by these white governments instead of by the black governments they were previously overseen by. Black people was governed by black people. Black people was protected by black people. And then integration happened and black people was protected by white people. I'm just saying, I feel like segregation was better than integration. And before everything was desegregated, if it was truly separate but equal, if white people would have truly stayed in their own communities, if white people wouldn't have went out of their way to burn down black communities, I feel like segregation would have worked. And if you look at a lot of the black ancestors and a lot of the black people in the community who talked about times during segregation, segregation was a much better time for them than integration ever was. I think we got to bring back segregation.
So it seems like Trump is trying to push segregation. And here's how I feel about that, okay? Here's how I feel about that. You guys wouldn't leave us the fuck alone when segregation was actually a thing, okay? Because you didn't like the fact, the racist ones, not everybody, the racist people, okay? Y'all did not like the fact that those little black towns and cities and communities and neighborhoods and groups, you did not like the fact that we were prospering and succeeding. You didn't like that. So what you did is you came in and burned shit down and you took it over. And that's why a lot of y'all have generational wealth when we don't. Because you came in and stole our lands, or you did stuff like Lake Lanier and flooded the whole shit out. Okay, so you want to segregate? That's cool. That's fine. But number one, separate but equal. Stick to that. Okay, and leave us the fuck alone. And I already know the leave us the fuck alone is not going to work by the amount of shit that goes on TikTok. Because if we really start gatekeeping and stuff like that, TikTok wouldn't exist. Y'all wouldn't have no music to dance to, no dances to copy and say that your own, no black voices to use for your little skits and shit that you do. Like it would be just be whatever y'all create. Okay, so if you want to do that, fine. Leave us the fuck alone, separate but equal. Split the country in half, or, you know, choose states. Everybody stay in their own borders. Cool. That's fine. Leave us the fuck alone, though. And I already know you're not gonna, because you want to antagonize us. But if that's what you want to do, because you keep doing the poke. You keep doing this shit. And, you know, I already know by Mrs. Thang's comments, and this is how I know she wasn't a true ally. In Mrs. Thang's comments, all the people saying, oh, she's just a hater. Her whole page is hateful and hate-filled. She's just a hater. Blah, 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 blah. But this is what I've always found out. People call shit hating, and they call people hateful when they're talking about shit that they know that they think or have said, or participated in. I don't give two fucks. But if that's what you want, if you want separate but equal, if you want segregation, leave us the fuck alone, though. Because we ain't gonna let you come in and burn no shit down. Again, y'all be happy where you are, and we'll be happy where we are. And if you think you have a problem, like I said, with black-owned businesses now, wait until we gatekeep, and you can't have shit that we make or do or say or sing or dance. Know where those fans at for y'all. Odin bless.
They want to roll back laws and shit. Baby, let me tell you something. You think I won't put up a black only, colored entrance only, black only. You think I won't put a sign up? You think I won't put one of them motherfucking signs up? You think niggas won't put them signs up? Turn them laws around, do it now. That's what I've been waiting on, nigga. Turn them laws around, nigga. Turn them around. Turn them laws around, nigga. Turn them around. Turn them laws around, nigga. Turn them around. Turn them laws around, nigga. Turn them around, nigga. Yeah.
You guys, Trump wants to bring back segregation. The others are happy about this. Come closer, my people. Let's be focused right now. Now is the time, okay? Y'all keep saying we're not our ancestors. We're not our ancestors. Watch out for these hands, X, Y, and Z. Now is our time. We're not going to fight to get back into spaces where we're not wanted. Now is our time to build our own spaces. Yes. Do we all agree? Thank you. They're rolling back everything that our ancestors fought for. So now's not the time to have conflict within our own community. I see people arguing with the Caribbean community versus foundational Black Americans. We're all N-words to these people, so let's stay focused. Let's stay focused. While they roll this back, let's focus on building. Come on, we can do it together. We make our own spaces. We don't need to enter theirs. We'll just be fine.
Because you're not black, you a POC, and nobody's giving up shit. I said if there's nothing that we can do about it, because there's literally nothing you can do about Trump reversing an order on federal contracts that allows discrimination. You literally can't do anything about that. Black people, when I said we're going to thrive regardless, that means we're going to find alternative ways to go around that or to subvert that by supporting our own communities and go where we're wanted. That's how you fight back against that. Now, whatever the fuck you got to do with your community is between you and your community. We already told you what the fuck we was finna do after Trump won. Because last time I checked, black people ain't giving up. We just know what we need to do. You know why? Because we warned the world what was going to happen when Donald Trump got elected. We made sure that we did our part already. So all this giving up ain't have shit to do with us. It more than likely had to do with these POCs, migrants, and all these people that promised to be with us on election day and then voted not in their best interest. So if y'all want to do something about it, shit, go do something about it. Mobilize, go get together. You know, build something in your community. We know what the fuck we finna do because we've already done this before. We've already figured this out. Grandparents, grandmamas, great-grandmamas, mamas, probably. We done seen this shit. We know what the fuck we finna do. So we wish y'all the best of luck, but we really don't give a fuck what y'all do. Folks,
the man is trying to put martial law into place. Okay, he's trying to put it into place, and he's trying to get those of us that are melanated upset about it so that way we can go out and riot so he can have a reason to enact martial law. I really wish y'all would have listened to us when they overturned Roe v. Wade. Because I said, and I have the video to prove it, I said that once they overturn Roe v. Wade, they're coming after everything else. Y'all didn't want to believe it because those of y'all who were homophobic, racist, sexist, misogynist, anything of that nature, y'all were salivating at the thought of us suffering. Just happy about it. And now because some of y'all are sitting up here being affected by it personally, now y'all want us to just go out and riot with y'all. Absolutely not. That man just did this, just put into law that it's, we gonna have colored and whites only fountains again, according to him. Like, black people, continue to stay your ass at home. Continue to stay at home, tend to your families, tend to your dogs, your cats, whatever it is, and mind your business. They want us to get upset so that way they can say this is the reason why we have to enact martial law, because they're mad that we're not mad about it. Y'all had the opportunity to stand with us November 4th and y'all chose not to. We tired. We done.
One of the problems with sitting through that speech was we had to listen to unrestrained attacks on basic civil rights, like we haven't seen since the 1960s. When they kind of start carrying on about DEI, you got to break that down what they're against. They're against diversity. Well, what are they for? Segregation?
Yes.
Well,
and they're against supply diversity contracts.
And if you have a problem with diversity, you can't do anything about it because they're against diversity. Now, put this in perspective. In Trump's last term, he appointed dozens of judges that would not say during their confirmation hearings whether or not Brown v. Board of Education was properly decided in 1954. That's right. Like, segregated schools is something that's up for debate.
Yeah.
Okay. They're against it and proud of opposition to diversity. They're proud of opposition to equity, which all that does is rings that old saying true that for those who are used to privilege, equality seems like oppression. So we can understand why they're against equity. And if you're against inclusion, what are you for? Discriminatory exclusion? I mean, these guys they just come right on out with it, just loud and proud against civil rights. And we found out tonight they're not discriminating just against civil rights. The immigration policy. Am I the only one that heard him say that he endorsed the Eisenhower deportation program?
Yes, sir.
You heard him. You know what that was called? You know what the name of it? Operation Wetback.
Yeah, wetback. Right.
Now Google that and you'll find out that they rounded up about 1 million and some people, many of them citizens. And that's what he endorsed and got a standing ovation.
There you go.
So we're not the only ones he's after.
Oh, absolutely.
But we have to, if you're not interested in health care and access to college and nutrition programs in the budget, you ought to be interested in your civil rights.
Congresswoman Clark, final comment.
What we're facing, and I think for someone like myself and maybe some other folks from my generation, because born right after the civil rights movement, right? The idea of white supremacy had been something that we read about. We're in the midst of a real insurrection of white supremacy. And I think